What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I've got 3 picks that I've already put down. I'm going to take you to that today. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the recap and then the picks, I do want to set the record straight on a couple things. I have read the comments and I just want to iron a few things out. The first thing is I do not work for Vegas. I do not put out losing bets on purpose. I'm just like you. I love the NBA. I love gambling. And sometimes my bets just don't win. So I just want to set the record straight there. I get no benefit out of you losing your bets. The second thing is how people are saying that I'm putting out my worst picks on YouTube and saving the better ones for VIP. That's not true. Everyone in VIP will tell you the picks that I share on YouTube are the first set of picks that I send out to VIP. What's difficult is these YouTube picks, I have to get out 12 hours before the games even start. And what that means is a lot of lineups are confirmed, minutes projections aren't as reliable, and I don't have any access to any of the bench players or role players that I typically like to bet on. So kind of limited in what I can get down, but we do our absolute best. And even though from the picks that I shared with you yesterday, I think we went 1-2. I don't think a lot of the ones that lost, I don't think they were bad bets either. And you'll see when I do the recap that even the ones I saved for VIP, I gave out to them in the morning, some of those still lost too. So just want to iron out those two things. Now let's get into that recap. So as I said, we went 1-2 in the picks that I shared yesterday. VIP, we pretty much just broke even. We did make profit on straight picks. Did hit a couple of value plays as well, but the double combos didn't cash at all. And I ran 3 different sets of those. So that alone cost us 3 units. But for the most part, I think the reads were pretty okay. Now let's talk about it. First one, Steph Curry over 5.5 assists. He had 5 assists going into the fourth quarter. I was pretty confident that he was going to get there. Played 8 minutes down the stretch, and he still finished with 5. For the people who watched the game, they were telling me Draymond's the one to blame there. Steph Curry fed him a few times, and he missed a couple of easy looks. So that was unfortunate, but I didn't hate the read on that one. I'd definitely play that again. Brook Lopez over 12.5 points. Man, the wagon of Brook Lopez is over. He had 10 points at halftime, 4 out of 5 shots. And I was thinking, man, what an elite read from me. Brook Lopez comes with it again. He plays 15 minutes in the second half, and he doesn't attempt a shot. What type of bullshit is that? What a tough way to lose a bet. I also bet on Miles Turner in the same game, over 20.5 points and rebounds. He played 30 minutes, which is great. He took a lot of shots, which was great, but he shot 30% from the field, 2 from 10 from downtown. I didn't hate the read on this one. I expected him to get the looks, but I also expected him to shoot a little bit better than that. So that one sucked. And Jalen Duren, I took him for over 11.5 boards. In my mind, I was like, the concern is a blowout or it's foul trouble. Neither of those things happened. There wasn't a blowout. He didn't find any foul trouble. He played 29 minutes. The issue was when Jalen Duren was on there, OKC were absolutely pumping them. They weren't missing many shots. He didn't get many rebound opportunities. If anything, that Detroit Pistons bench is what really kept them in the game. So tough one there. If I could go back in time and knowing what I know, I'd probably still play the bet, if I'm being honest with you. So those are the 4 picks that lost. I didn't hate any of them, but it was unfortunate. But we did cash quite a few bets too. Malik Beasley, we spoke about it, 13.5 points. He started the game off hot, finished with 15. Isaiah Hartenstein over 3.5 assists. He only had 1 assist at halftime. I was a little bit nervous. Then he ends up finishing the game with 5. Justin Champagnie over 8.5 rebounds and assists. He crushed this, 13 boards, 2 dimes. Desmond Bain over his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Once Ja Morant showed up on that injury report, I knew that this was going to be easy money. He crushed this line early in the third quarter. Torian Prince took him for over 8.5 points. This was sweatier than it had to be. I feel I got a little bit lucky with this one. He did finish with 14 points. He cleared this really easy in the end of the game, but I was worried he wasn't going to get there. So that cashed. Another one where I felt the same way is Carlo Makovic, over 10.5 points. He had great volume, but he didn't shoot the ball very well in the first half. Then in the third quarter, he plays 10 minutes, and he doesn't attempt a shot. And I was like, man, he's not going to shoot nothing today. We're screwed. And then in the fourth quarter, he scores 8 points, gets us over the 10.5. So I'll take the green there. Hit 3 value plays, Desmond Bain at plus 575, Hartenstein at plus 300, Champagnie at plus 275. Let me show you that real quick. So for Desmond Bain, took him over his points, over his rebounds, over his assists, $50 into 337. Isaiah Hartenstein, 5 assists and 10 boards, 15 and 200. And Champagnie, over in his assists, over in his boards, $50 in a 187. So got the value plays there. We're actually slightly profitable in value plays. but did run some risky combos, and that kind of we broke even at the end of the day. So no damage done. The reads are looking nice. I'm still feeling confident that we can finish off March with about 100 units profit. We're close to 50 units, so we're halfway there, and we're halfway through the month. Let's see how we go. But we do have 1 month left to go for the regular season. You can use the code Booker to get 70% off your first month. I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. And if you want access to my straight picks, you can jump into the straight picks plan. Only costs you $1 a day. It's not even limited to the NBA. You'll get any straight picks that I place on any sport. So feel free to check either one of those two out. Now let's get into these 3 picks. Let's go. As we do, we're jumping into props madness. The best tool you're ever going to find if you like betting on NBA player props. You'll get a 7-day free trial, and you get 25% off if you use the code DAFT when you sign up. So go ahead and check out Props Madness. I also have 2 different tutorials on Props Madness on my channel, so you can check that out as well. Now, we've got an interesting slate. We've got a couple of games that are starting real early. These first 3 games, I'm not going to be able to watch. They're at 4 a.m. my time and then 6:30 a.m., so I might catch a bit of that Lakers game. But got 3 different picks for you. 76ers Mavs, nothing on that one. Couldn't tell you what's going to happen. Magic and Cavaliers, there's a lot of game time decisions, and by the time the lineups are finalized, I'm going to be sleeping. So Suns and Lakers, couldn't wait to get this one down because the Lakers somewhat predictable as to where their offense is going to come from. The Phoenix Suns, their defense sucks right now. So Austin Reaves and Luka, I don't think you can go wrong. I think they kill it today, but I've taken the bet on Austin Reaves. And for Austin Reaves, I'm running back his rebounds and assists. For those of you who watched the video when they played the Bucks, I took him at 10.5 assists in that game. That opened at 9.5. I took it at 10.5. And it eventually moved to 11.5 for some people. So they got hooked. But in this particular game, Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic weren't diming up to anybody. They were taking every shot they possibly could. And then up against Denver, things started to return to normal. Austin Reaves started diming up again, but there was no Luka in that game. But I'm running the 9.5. Now, he's got a much easier matchup against the Phoenix Suns than he did against the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's going to have Luka Doncic right next to him. And looking at head-to-head numbers, he's covered this in 2 out of 3 games against Phoenix, 12, 11, and 5. The 5 he had was a 27-point loss, blowout loss here. And keeping in mind, LeBron James played in all 3 games. So Austin Reaves, with and without LeBron, very different story. So if you look at with LeBron in his last 27 games, averaging 9.9 rebounds and assists. But if we look at the games without LeBron James, he's averaging 16.3 rebounds and assists. So I caught this at 9.5. I sent this to VIP probably about 40 minutes ago as I record this. And then, damn, this sucker's starting to move. And I'm not saying it's because of me, but shit, it's probably going to be at 10.5 by the time you see this. And at 10.5, I would still be playing this. Just make sure you do some line shopping and get the best odds possible. But 16.3 rebounds and assists without LeBron James. He's had 2 games with Luka, 11 against the Bucks, and 21 against Denver. Actually, Luka didn't play that game. My bad. 18 against the Nets, 11 against the Bucks. Those are the 2 games with Luka. But Austin Reaves, yeah, diamond up quite well, getting those boards. And I really do like this matchup with the Phoenix Suns. So very small sample size that we'll work with. And normally I would avoid a small sample size like this. LeBron out, Luka in. But man, I just think about it. The Suns' defense sucks. This Lakers' offense honestly sucks. Luka and Austin Reaves will have to do everything. So I don't think there's a world where Austin Reaves can't get this. Like, he's going to see the minutes. Rebounds and assists should flow. I don't think we see a blowout. We've got a 4-point spread here. So Austin Reaves will play 35 to 40 minutes in this one. He'll be dominant in those non-Luka minutes. Luka probably plays about 36 to 38 minutes. So it's 10 minutes where everything's going to be revolve around Austin Reaves. And we saw what he can do up against Denver. Absolutely clobbered them. So I like Austin Reaves at 9.5. That's what I took. This will move to 10.5 by the looks of things. And provided you're getting good odds for it, I'd still be willing to play that. So that's Austin Reaves. My next pick, well, my next 2 picks, they're both in the same game because a lot of these games are funny or there's game time decisions happening in them. And I'm going with the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I got 2 different picks in this one. And I'll quickly call out, I'm not playing Walker Kessler rebounds. For some reason, I got so many messages from people saying, take Walker Kessler rebounds. It's at 9.5. His hit rate is yada, yada, yada. It's this and that. And because it did open up at 9.5, and he's got like an 80% hit rate against those. But what you need to just take into account here is that the Utah Jazz are tanking and they're finding new ways to do it. They already got in trouble for not playing Markkanen when they should be playing him. Their new version of tanking is they're cutting people's minutes. And you'll see Walker Kessler in this game. He's now been relegated to the bench, probably going to be coming off the bench for the rest of the season. So he's not going to see the same minutes, same opportunities. Yeah, he can get 10 rebounds in 20 minutes, absolutely. But I'm not going to be selling this to nobody saying he hits this in 80% of games, because that's bullshit. Walker Kessler probably only plays 20 minutes in this game. But taking the same approach, I'm going to bet down here on Lauri Markkanen. And I took this at 17.5, and I'd still take this at 16.5. And I'm taking the under 17.5 points for Lauri Markkanen in this game. And it's purely for that reason. The Jazz, they're tanking. Now, Lauri Markkanen, based on the projections I looked at, he's projected to play 25 minutes in this game. One thing to keep in mind, he only played 19 minutes in this last game against the Toronto Raptors. And all 19 of those minutes happened in the first half. He didn't even play in the second half. They tried to be as terrible as possible to make sure they lost that game, and they did. They lost to the Raptors, who were also tanking. Now they're up against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are not tanking whatsoever, should feed the Utah Jazz here. So Lauri Markkanen, I'm not saying he plays 20, but he might play the 25. Heck, he might even play 28. But check this out. When you look at the games that Lauri Markkanen has played this season, when he plays 29 minutes or less, he's under this line in every single game, averaging 12.1 points per game. He's also got an awful matchup against this Minnesota Timberwolves team. They got size, they got length, they don't allow points to spot up shooters, yada, yada, yada. So Lauri Markkanen's only been back from his injury for a few games, not seeing the minutes. I don't expect him to see too many. The matchup is difficult. Just give me the under for Lauri Markkanen, under 17.5 points. Hopefully the tanking angle that I'm taking happens, and he barely sees anything. So that's the second pick that I've got. The third one is on Anthony Edwards, and I'm taking his rebounds and assists as well. Very similar to Austin Reaves. I took him at 9.5 rebounds and assists. Now, my whole angle around this is just pretty much the head-to-head history Anthony Edwards has against the Utah Jazz. I can't ignore it. Like, check this out. This season, he played them once. He had 17 rebounds and assists. This was a 25-point blowout win. He played 35 minutes, 6 rebounds, and 11 assists. Yes, Dante DiVincenzo and Mike Conley were missing from this game, but regardless, Anthony Edwards dominant, right? Looking at last season in the head-to-head numbers, 14, 15, and 15 rebounds and assists in those games, averaging 14.7 in these games. They were missing Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert in 2 of them, but outside of that, the team was pretty much healthy. So Anthony Edwards has got it done against the Utah Jazz the last 4 times pretty convincingly, and I'm hopeful that he can do it again. Now, if we just look at the data here, we can see here, the Utah Jazz allow the 3rd most rebounds and assists to guards this season. They allow the 2nd most assists overall. They take a lot of 3-pointers now, which are long rebounds. Anthony Edwards, I don't see him defending anybody with a high usage rate. So I think he can cruise to 10 rebounds and assists in this game. If it moves to 10.5, would I play it? Probably not. I like the 9.5, to be honest. And I probably don't see this moving to 10.5 anyway. So Anthony Edwards, I'm just going with history with this one. I'm not over-analyzing nothing. If I overthink things, then bad things happen. So we're just staying cool with it. I like the history. I like the soft matchup. And I like the fact that he's been doing it quite well lately. 18 out of his last 27 games. I feel like the blowouts are baked into this line anyway. So I think we're good here. Anthony Edwards, over 9.5 rebounds and assists. He's averaging 11.6 rebounds and assists over his last 27 games. Now let's go. 10.5 over the season. This line is lower than his average for a reason, and that's because there's a likelihood that there's a blowout here. But even in less time, I think Anthony Edwards can get it done for us today. So that's my 3 picks. Don't have a deep dive for you because, once again, these lineups be all over the place. I don't know who's playing, when they're playing, all that type of stuff. So who knows? I'll try to get into a live stream perhaps if somebody would have me, and then we can talk more props then. But if you do want to chat more about it, you can jump into the Discord. It's completely free. I've got a link for that in the video description below. Always happy to answer some questions. There's a lot of guys in there who are using Props Madness, screenshotting things, talking about what they like, why they like it. And if you're into those types of conversations, jump into the Discord. Always happy to help, and we can work together to find some more winning plays if you want to. But I appreciate if you made it this far into the video. Drop me your comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm feed the beast. Subscribe to the channel, of course. It's a new one. We're trying to grow. Need to get those milestones happening. But I appreciate you all. I hope you cash out in this upcoming slate. Let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.